are we going to be budgeting by panic again? Because it seems like it happens. It seems like, there's a panic. We got to get it done before there's a government shutdown. And then we get another big bloated overspending bill, which Republicans say they don't want to do.
Yeah, we've seen the same story time and again, but I'll say nothing pushes Congress to work faster than a looming deadline. We have about 2 months before the government shuts down. So what we would like to see between now and the end of September is for Congress to work on an appropriations bill that funds the government at a lower level, a much lower level than what we spent over the past fiscal year. So I'm hopeful, and I've seen the comments from Speaker Mike Johnson and from the Appropriations Committee Chairman Tom Cole, that we're going to spend less in FY26 than we did this year. Hopefully they keep their word.
Yeah, that would be nice. Look, we got the rescission through. But what about all the money that's left over? We were covering the story of the medical debt forgiveness in Arizona, $426 million that Katie Hobbs took from the American Rescue Plan. Couldn't Congress conceivably claw back any American Rescue Plan money that's been unspent, or inflation reduction money that's been unspent?
Yeah, it really is incredible that we're still spending our money on COVID era programs. Inflation Reduction Act, which is the Green New Scam, and then even the infrastructure bill that President Biden signed a couple years ago. And the way we look at it is the rescissions bill, it needed to pass. It would have been unacceptable to our base if the bill didn't pass. We're talking about $9 billion. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money when we're running $2 trillion a year deficits. It's unacceptable. So look, we've spent $400 billion in new debt since the rescissions bill passed the House on June 12th. So we're talking about a drop in the bucket. I'm really hopeful that the appropriations process is going to put us on a better path than we're on now.
I mean, what else is going to get cut? If the government's going to spend at lower levels, something else is going to have to get cut. Republicans could conceivably say, look, the NATO nations are buying arms from the United States to give to Ukraine and putting in 5%, except for Spain, who probably should be kicked out for that. But if they're going to put up 5%, couldn't we conceivably spend less on defense without harming our national security?
Yeah, 100%. The House is going to be taking up the defense appropriations bill, I think this week. It was supposed to be up last week. But we're going to spend $1 trillion a year on our national defense. That's just the Pentagon. So that's about half of discretionary spending. It's an obscene amount of money considering we're really not at war. And this is how we land ourselves in a $37 trillion a year, $37 trillion national debt. From my perspective, we should party like it's 2019 again. We should spend the same amount of money we spent in pre-COVID times. Doing that, we would save about $400 billion a year just on the discretionary side of spending. That's for things like the Department of Education, the military, and all these other departments. But at the same time, we need to address that the core drivers of our deficits are Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. We sort of dealt with Medicaid a bit during the One Big Beautiful Bill negotiations, but there needs to be more. It's a $1 trillion a year program. We need to cut back on the waste that exists there.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.